Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Unseen Threads, your podcast exploring the hidden forces that shape our world. Today, we're pulling back the curtains on a term we hear often, but truly understanding its depth is key to grasping our economic health. Unemployment. What exactly is unemployment? Simply put, it's a situation where a person is actively seeking a job, is unable to find one. It's much more than just a number. It's a vital indicator of a nation's economic health. The most common way we measure this is through the unemployment rate calculated by dividing the number of unemployed individuals by the total labor force. When more people are out of work, it often means lower overall economic output for the country. It's crucial to remember that this definition specifically excludes those who've left the workforce for other reasons, like retirement or further education. All right, a quick history lesson. Back in 1943, after the devastation of the Great Depression, Prime Minister John Curtin introduced Australia's first unemployment and sickness benefits. A year later, they became law. This came after millions were unemployed, wages slashed, and charity systems overwhelmed. It was clear we needed systematic support. This moment redefined how government supports its people in the timeline of Australia's unemployment rates. Let's fast forward through the years. Early 2000s, unemployment was around 6%, then dropped with the economic growth. In 2008-2009, and we entered the global financial crisis. The unemployment surged to 5.8% in October 2009. In 2010 to 2014, the mining boom helped, but we all saw rates hover around 5 to 6%. And in 2016-2019, things improved again, dropping to around 5%. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the 2008 and 2009 unemployment rates, because this was a very significant event that happened from the 2000s to till the present year of unemployment rates. The impact of the impact of the global financial crisis from 2008 to 2009 increased to 5.5% in 2009 as Australia survived the global crisis. In 2009, the financial crisis prompts an increase in unemployment, which reaches about 5.8% by October 2009. According to the most recent labour force numbers issued by the Australian Bureau of Statistics in December 11, 2009, the seasonally adjusted unemployment rate stood at 5.7% in September. According to the ABS, the number of unemployed grew by 11,000 in October to 670,000, the highest level since January 2009. And then the curveball, COVID-19. In April 2020, coronavirus, a new virus, was introduced to the whole world, and including Australia. This affected Australia severely. Unemployment shot up to 14.8%. That's massive. Entire industries like retail, accommodation, and food services were crushed. Over 870,000 jobs were lost. Full-time employment fell by 87%, and underemployment peaked at 13.8%. Eventually, with economic recovery, unemployment dropped to 5.1% in 2021 and a record low of 3.7% in 2022 to 2023. Now, in 2024, we're sitting at 4.1% with tighter labor market. All right, through these graphs, we can see the unemployment rate change over the years. So from 1995, it increases extraordinarily compared to the years ahead, which was during the Great Depression's impact and the recession period. Following on till the 2000s, it decreases from 1995 around um, as the as they recover from the Great Depression over time. And then over the next few years, when we reach 2008, we can see it slowly becoming more less, which is a great sign for employment rates increasing once again. But over time, it starts to increase again as the global financial crisis occurs in the 2009 till 2010. And the unemployment rate stays consistent until 2020 when the COVID-19 pandemic erupts and causes multiple individuals to become jobless, resulting in a higher unemployment rate compared from 2000 till 2019. And Currently, from 2021 till 2024, it has stayed lower than 2020's unemployment rate, which is a great sign for the health in the economy. Now, how did the government respond? Government intervention has been vital. After World War II, Australia's 1945 White Paper on Full Employment declared the government's responsibility to maintain jobs, a radical move at the time. Jump to COVID, we saw fast, large-scale responses, such as the JobKeeper payments, which are $1,500 per fortnight for businesses to retain staff, the coronavirus supplements, job seeker expansions, and one-off support payments throughout 2020 and 2021. Furthermore, then came the Workforce Australia. In 2022, a full inquiry was launched into the system. By July 2024, the government committed $67.6 million over 4 years to reform job services. These include extending the local job programs, improving the transparency and fairness, and creating tailored employment support, especially in regions like Norfolk Island. This aims to ditch one-size-fits-all programs and deliver more community-driven personal support. Moving on to a real-life case study of the Germans' Great Depression in 1929. To understand cyclical unemployment, let's head to Germany in 1929. After the Wall Street crash, American loans to Germany were pulled, crushing its economy. In just months, unemployment skyrocketed from 1.4 million to over 6 million. Factories shut, wages dropped, and people suffered. The chaos paved the way for political upheaval and ultimately Hitler's rise. The lesson? When unemployment surges and systems fail, the consequences ripple far beyond the economy. Moving on, let's break down to the main types of unemployment: cyclical, frictional, structural, and seasonal. Cyclical unemployment comes from the downturns in the economy, such as the recession or depression period, for example, during COVID-19. The advantages of cyclical unemployment is it slows inflation, and the disadvantage is that it cuts spendings, confidence, and tax revenue. Moving on to frictional unemployment, this happens when people are between jobs. Um, the advantages for this reflects a dynamic economy, but a disadvantage of this is the temporary income loss. Structural unemployment is caused by skill mismatches or industry changes. The advantages of this are that it encourages retraining, and the disadvantage for this is the long-term joblessness and regional inequality. Now, seasonal unemployment is based on jobs cycles like tourism or Christmas retail. These people only work during seasonal times. The advantages of this are that they offer work-life flexibility, and the disadvantage is the unstable income and poor career growth. These all unemployments have an advantage and disadvantage in a way, but the end are classified as the most common. There are 8 in total, including long-term, hardcore, and underemployment, etc. But these 4 are most common in the economy. And therefore, the unemployment and the labor market. Unemployment is like a thermometer for the labor market. Too high, there are more workers than jobs. Too low, employers can't find staff, which slows businesses. It affects everything: government spending, mental health, social equity, and economic performance. Policies like training programs, wage subsidies, and local jobs initiatives all play a role in keeping that balance just right. And some recommendations to improve employment in Australia include invest in retraining programs for workers in declining industries, expand mental health support for long-term employed individuals, increase funding to rural and regional employment programs, strengthen connections between schools and industries to reduce youth employment, adjust welfare eligibility to support underemployed individuals more effectively, incisive businesses to hire workers from marginalized communities, and ensure employment services are transparent, fair, and locally tailored, not one size fits all. And stay tuned for more economic breakdowns right here. on Unseen Threads. Thank you for listening.